Welcome to the Liberty and Democracy Podcast. The Liberty and Democracy Podcast is geared toward those who seek alternative views to leftist corporate, mainstream media. The podcasts shared here are created by a citizen of the United States who was born and raised in a socialist country in Eastern Europe during the 1970s and 1980s. As more and more members of our youth pivot towards Marxism, socialism, and communism in the United States of America and beyond, now, more than ever, it is important to focus on liberty and democracy instead of the alluring Marxist and socialist trends which, as history repeatedly has shown, lead to repressive authoritarian regimes. Let us make it clear. Marxism does not lead to utopia either in the United States of America or anywhere else in the world. Let us question governments, policies, and manufactured social progressivism, and not go along with whatever we are told to agree to. Let us go back to the times when it was okay for us to agree to disagree. Welcome to the second episode of the Liberty and Democracy Podcast. For the next 23 episodes, we will focus on the eBook titled It's Not Their Money, A Case Against Big Government. In It's Not Their Money, A Case Against Big Government, we explore why some people believe that big government is not the best way to handle money. The main argument is that the money the government uses comes from taxpayers. Citizens work hard for their earnings, and when the government collects taxes, it is using other people's money. Critics argue that big governments often waste this money on inefficient programs. They believe smaller governments are better at managing funds because they are closer to the people they serve. Smaller governments can be more accountable and responsive to local needs. This ebook discusses these points and highlights real-world examples of government mismanagement. Supporters of small governments say individuals know best how to spend their own money. When people keep more of what they earn, they can make smarter choices for themselves and their families. The ebook encourages listeners to think critically about who should control financial resources, a large, distant bureaucracy or individuals in their own communities. Today we continue with the first chapter of It's Not Their Money, A Case Against Big Government. You can read the ebook online as well as interact on this topic with our artificial intelligence chatbot via the ebook page on www.sersea.com.
We're now about to listen to Maestro Cercia's ebook titled, It's Not Their Money, A Case Against Big Government. Chapter 1, The Influence of Big Government on American Citizens. The Working Class Tax Burden. Introduction to the Working Class Tax Burden. Understanding and addressing the tax burden faced by the working class is an essential component of examining the overreach of big government. In this segment, we will delve into the overwhelming tax burden faced by hardworking individuals and families in America. By examining the types of taxes imposed, the lack of benefits received, the impact on quality of life, and the disconnect between tax policies and working class needs, we will shed light on the injustices perpetuated by our current system. It is imperative that we explore potential solutions to alleviate this burden and empower the working class to advocate for change. The overwhelming tax burden on the working class. One cannot discuss the working class tax burden without recognizing the multitude of ways in which they are taxed. Income tax, sales tax, property tax, and various other levies contribute to a significant portion of the working class's income being deducted. While everyone must contribute their fair share, the burden disproportionately falls on the working class. Statistics and data highlight the extent of this burden, revealing that a substantial portion of their earnings goes toward fulfilling their tax obligations, leaving them with limited resources to thrive and achieve financial independence. Lack of benefits for the working class. Despite the sizable taxes they pay, the working class often finds themselves recipients of inadequate social welfare programs and public services. This stands in stark contrast to the benefits enjoyed by the wealthy. It is an unsettling reality that those who contribute the most to our society are denied a fair return on their tax contributions. The disparities in benefits received by different socioeconomic groups emphasize the inherent injustice of our current system, where the working class is left to shoulder the burden without reaping the rewards. Impact on quality of life for the working class. The tax burden on the working class translates into a diminished quality of life. Excessive taxation places a significant financial strain on individuals and families, limiting their ability to save, invest, and improve their living conditions. As their hard-earned money goes toward funding a bloated government, working-class individuals and families struggle to make ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck. This financial strain not only impacts their immediate circumstances but also hinders their ability to plan for a secure future. Moreover, the lack of benefits and the feeling of being disregarded by the government can have a profound psychological impact. The constant worry about meeting basic needs, coupled with the knowledge that their tax dollars are not being utilized in a way that directly benefits them, creates a pervasive sense of frustration and disillusionment. The working class urgently needs a system that recognizes their contributions and provides opportunities for upward mobility. The disconnect between tax policies and working class needs. One of the root causes of the working class tax burden is the disconnect between tax policies and the needs of the working class. These policies often favor the wealthy and large corporations, neglecting the specific needs and circumstances of the working class. Political factors and lobbying influence play a significant role in perpetuating this inequality. It is essential to recognize specific tax policies that disproportionately burden the working class, such as those that give tax breaks to the rich while placing heavier obligations on those who can least afford it. Potential solutions to address the working class tax burden. Addressing the working class tax burden requires a re-evaluation of our current system. Potential policy changes and reforms should be explored to alleviate this burden and ensure fairness. One viable solution is the implementation of targeted tax breaks or credits specifically designed to provide relief to the working class. This approach recognizes the need for taxation to be equitable while also acknowledging the necessity of alleviating the burden on those who can least afford it. By enacting such reforms, we can restore a sense of justice and balance to our tax system. The importance of using tax revenue responsibly. Equally important is the responsible use of tax revenue. Politicians have a duty to utilize these funds to provide essential services and support for the working class. Yet, wasteful government spending and the misallocation of tax funds have become all too common. Transparency and accountability must be prioritized in how tax revenue is allocated and spent. This will ensure that taxpayer money is utilized effectively to address the needs of the working class and strengthen our society as a whole. The working class's role in advocating for change. Empowering the working class to voice their concerns and demand fairer tax policies and better benefits is crucial in effecting change. Civic engagement and grassroots activism are potent tools in challenging the status quo. By raising their collective voice and uniting behind common interests, the working class can become a force for change. It is essential for individuals to actively participate in advocacy efforts and hold their elected officials accountable for creating a tax system that is fair and equitable. Conclusion. The working class tax burden is a crucial aspect of the overarching argument against big government. Through examining the overwhelming taxes imposed, the lack of benefits received, the impact on quality of life, and the disconnect between tax policies and working class needs, we have highlighted the imbalances and injustices within our current system. It is imperative that we acknowledge and address these issues for the well-being of the working class and the overall health of our society. In the next segment of this book, we will build upon the arguments made here to further explore the dangers of big government and the need for limited government and individual liberties.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Liberty and Democracy podcast. We aim to share 2 new episodes each week on Mondays and Thursdays. The podcasts shared here are part of www.libertarian.center, as well as the Liberty and Democracy Facebook group and YouTube channel, which you're invited to visit, subscribe to, and participate in.